Welcome in Spurs Bros, episode 15. We got a real cool episode for you guys. If y'all have looking for somewhere to go hang out with the boys and just talk shop about everything Spurs basketball over the last week, this is the episode for you. This is just what are we feeling, what's going on. Spurs took one step forward, two steps back this week. A couple of frustrating losses and a surprising win against the Lakers, but after we recap those games, is Devin Booker coming to the Spurs? We're going to feel it out. Is Jeremy Sohan the missing link to our struggles lately? We're going to feel it out. So, a lot of different things to cover. We would love to hear some input from you guys. And more importantly, if you're enjoying what you're hearing from us and the content we're putting out, please go subscribe on YouTube. Give us a thumbs up, leave a comment, like, and share with a friend. Go find us on Twitter at Spurs Bros Pod and Instagram at Spurs Bros Podcast. You can also find us. We're partnered with the Peach Basket on Twitter. So go find us there for some article summaries over these episodes. But anyways, a lot of stuff coming at you. We're just Spurs Bros talking about the thing that we love. So let's get into it. Episode 15. Here we go.
Alrighty, Spurs Bros. Welcome back to another edition of the Spurs Bros podcast. I'm your host, Alec Bogus. These are my co-hosts, Tim Mendes, Stu, and Reagan. How are you guys?
Doing good.
Doing good.
Doing good. Better than the Spurs.
Yeah, losing week of basketball.
Yeah, it's still like we talked about at the end of last episode. It's sort of the dog days of the year. We're in the middle for literally the year, in between years and seasons, and one step forward, two steps back, it seems like. And that's exactly what happened this past week. We literally took one step forward and two steps back. We went 1-2 in our last three games. We lost to the Bucks. We won against the Lakers and lost to the Memphis Grizzlies since we last spoke to you guys. There was supposed to be another game against the Lakers there, so it should have been two Los Angeles Lakers games in LA, but because of the devastating fires that have been happening over there, one of those got postponed. It was very, mediocre week of Spurs basketball. Again, it still feels like we're still in gridlock somewhere. It seems like we're trying to push through, but mistakes keep popping up. Some of the same ones that we've talked about all season: physicality, being sharp, getting to our spots, and then other times we look good, like against that Lakers win. So I kind of want to go in order and review and just go through everything, but I didn't really see a ton of that Bucks game. What did y'all see there?
Yeah, I mean, I was hyped up for that game because of how electric the game against the Bucks was last year. That was the game where Wemby had that iconic block on Giannis, and he went behind the back in transition and then dunked on Brook Lopez. So like, I was ready for fireworks. I was hyped to see year two Wemby go against Giannis, and we just came out and laid a freaking goose egg dud, no energy. I feel like again, like that was kind of it was a national TV game, right? Like there was hype, it was advertised, people were playing up the Giannis Wemby matchup, and then just nothing.
Yep.
And it was like every time you wanted to see them get something going, they just couldn't. The offense was clunky. Like you said, couldn't get to spots on time. The execution was poor offensively, and a lot of the same kind of transition defense errors, letting one of the best players in the world just do whatever he wanted with hardly any resistance. The one thing I will say though, and let me know if y'all saw the same thing, is the Giannis home court whistle is
Bro,
absolutely insane. How do you
off
beat
the
that?
charts. No, it's actually staggering. It was like complete off arm, go into you and one. No, like
And it was his
seeming
defense too.
it was
I,
crazy.
I don't think that was just against us. I'm pretty sure that's been happening all year. I
Dude,
will put money on it. Giannis has the most free throws attempted this season. I guarantee it.
dude.
How
Someone
much
look that
money?
up real quick. But
Yeah.
that was wild. Yes, I did see that, Reagan.
Like Reagan said, after that epic matchup last year, Wemby and Giannis, I was really looking forward to it. And I think Wemby only took, 10 shots? Like, that can't happen ever. We kind of, let them bully him a little bit. And yeah, he just wasn't looking for his shot. It was really weird. And that was the first game, I think, that we got Steph Castle back in the lineup, starting lineup. He struggled that game, but obviously his last two games have been really freaking good. Hopefully these last two have gotten him going a little bit. Looking at the numbers, Julian off the bench struggled again. We've been talking about him being back in the starting lineup. Keldon's been really good these last three games. He had 24. He was our leading scorer in that game.
Yep.
Him and Chris Paul were really the only two that brought it in that Milwaukee game. And obviously that was an ESPN game. So yeah, tough when we lay an egg on national TV.
Hey man,
Again.
I'll tell you why Wemby only put up 10 shots because I pointed out that night too, and to Alec's point, physicality. Wemby was getting pushed all over the court, and to Reagan's point, he said Giannis was playing defense on him very tough, and I was pissed off that game watching. And I said it's a reoccurring theme. Anytime someone gets physical with Wemby, he gets scared. He just starts standing 3 feet behind the 3 point line, sometimes in the corner, catch, pass right away, not looking for his anymore, or he chucks up a three. You can see his weakness coming out when someone gets physical with him. He gets very tired quickly, fatigued out there, and it showed on defense and offense. Anytime someone gets real physical with him, like Giannis did, it shows, and we fall apart. And same with Julian. Julian now multiple times is not stepped up in the spotlight when a big physical game happens against Philly. Earlier on in the year against Phoenix in our big game to make it to
NBA
Vegas.
Cup.
Memphis, the Memphis game last night.
Anytime it's like a playoff vibe in there, the crowd's into it. Refs aren't giving us the whistle. It's more physical. We crumble every time. And to y'all's point, CP has been the one who stepped up these last couple of games. Guess what? He's the one who's played playoff ball. Harrison had like 18-5 the other night.
He looks really good against the Grizzlies.
He's played playoff ball. So yeah, it's our young guys, which sucks though. I know Chris Paul and all the young guys are saying, hey, we're not young anymore, this, that, the other. Well, it shows in these big moments are still young and weak.
Dude.
Yeah. We were talking about it today in the group chat. Like, imagine if Wemby can put on another 20 to 25 pounds this summer, what he's going to look like and the force that he's going to be able to play with next season. I think that's like every Spurs bro's wet dream. But
Yes.
Until we get to next season and get to actually see that, we got to deal with the reality. And I think Stuart made a really good observation that I feel like I didn't ever have that thought, but you said it, and I was like, damn, that's pretty accurate. So, he's got to find other ways to score to get through that stuff. He's gonna face the best players. He's gonna play against Jokic and Embiid if Embiid is ever healthy again, and Giannis and AD. Like, he's gonna play against these guys and their home court, and they're gonna have those favored whistles until he proves himself. So he's just got to find a way to get around it, and the other guys got to step up too.
Yep.
Do y'all think our guys are getting in like lifts like weekly? Like how we're talking about Wemby gaining 20 pounds. Do you think he's gained any weight like this season or during the season that's so hard because you're on and off? Do you think guys is it our only chance for Wemby to get strong and stuff going to be every offseason, and what he comes into the season, that's what we're going to have to ride with for that year, basically?
Yeah, because like when I was in college, the weightlift program after the season and the summer and preseason was completely different than the weight program that we had during the season. Because if you're trying to continue to bulk when you're practicing for 2-3 hours a game and 2 hours of treatment every day and all this stuff, your body's going to break down. So it becomes more about like maintenance and sustainability. And keeping your flexibility up. So yeah, we're not going to see that like next bulk phase until he comes back to training camp next year.
No, but yes, but continuing on that theme of physicality, it's very apparent. I think people figured it out of, okay, we need to be ultra aggressive to stop him. He's going to make shots, some nights if he's hot from deep, but we'll live with that. And as long as he's not killing us down low, and as long as we can kind of disrupt him everywhere else, that's what teams want to do. And I think Mitch Johnson is kind of seeing that and says, okay, well, how can we be a little more physical while so hands out? And I think he's gone back to Stephon Castle, who literally thrives as a 20-year-old
dude,
in the physicality. He loves the contact. He loves playing through that stuff. You saw it against transitioning to the Lakers game. He killed it. He had 23 points and 4 boards, and he was just aggressive all night. And he loves the contact. So I think maybe Mitch Johnson is saying, okay, well, I don't know what we need to do, but we can't just be so cerebral out there with, Wemby's mindset and how he plays. We need Stephon Castle to be physical.
You know what Mitch Johnson isn't doing?
What is he not doing?
Standing up for our boys out there. It's pissing me off. How you're talking Steph Castle, gets in the lane every time, doesn't go to the line once a game. Wemby, our superstar. I've been ranting to you guys about this through the week, especially last week against Milwaukee, and then showed again last night against Grizzlies. I am freaking sick of Wemby, our superstar, face of the league in a couple years, 4th in MVP voting right now as we speak, and he doesn't get any calls, pissing me off. I'm confident Pop would have got thrown out of at least 2 or 3 games this year by how we're not getting any whistles and have more single T's in some games, defending Wemby, defending CP, defending Stephon, and it's just pissing me off. I know Mitch is trying to be a good guy, probably players, coaches, but like, bro, you got to get out there and start working the refs. That's how you succeed in the league as a coach. You work the refs. You know when to get a tee, what to do, and defend your boys. It's pissing me off. He needs to stand up for them and start getting some tees, showing them some fire.
Yeah, you're right. By the way, you were right. It is Giannis leading the league with over 10 free throw attempts per game.
Wow.
So
10 a game.
10 a
Wemby
game.
maybe gets 2 or 3 a game. Maybe
4 per game right now this year.
Wow.
4 per game. That's going to the line for 2 trips for 2 shots. Like, that's it.
Right.
That's all he's getting. He's not getting the respect of the whistle of somebody that's the 4th in MVP voting right now. So yeah, it's disappointing to see that. But like I said, he's got to figure out a way to fight through that and go through guys and score over them. He's 7'5". Score over him.
Makes sense though when he obviously takes the amount of threes and jump shots that he does, but we've been talking about that all season. He eventually does try to get himself comfortable in the paint. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think they're gonna, like, what are you gonna do? Like, we talked about him going up against, who was it? Oh, well, Giannis, but then Jaren Jackson, probably second in Defensive Player of the Year voting this year. And yeah, they're probably not going to give him the whistle against a guy like Jackson and Anthony Davis and Giannis, just 3 great defenders back to back games. So
that's true. That is
this
true.
This has been
Tim.
going
Good
on all
point.
season too, though.
It's been going on all season, but that's a tough stretch to go Giannis, AD, Triple J. That's a tough week. So, okay. I didn't even put that together. Like, I watched it happen, but I didn't put together that's the week he had. That's a week from hell, dude.
That is. Maybe that's also why he shies away from the lane so much. If he ain't getting any calls, like, why I might as well just stand here and chuck up threes. I'm not going to get beat up in the damn lane and not get any calls. Either way, Mitch needs to stand to the boys. CP needs to start working. Where CP's, king of working the refs. But I'm surprised he isn't. He's got thrown out of one game this year, but I don't know. Just the lack of calls.
We won that game that he got thrown out against Portland.
Yeah, he did.
We did win.
The lack of calls we get this year has been insane to me. It's pissing me off.
Yeah, and to that point too, I feel like, just like Alec, you said that the guys have kind of figured out that, okay, if we're extra physical with Wemby, that's the key right now to slowing him down and stopping him. I feel like the rest of the team has embodied that too, because I was watching these games and, like, even the guards, like, how many NBA teams are really giving full court pressure on a nightly basis? But the last couple weeks, I feel like over half the game, we're getting pressured all the way up the court, especially Chris Paul. And he can handle it with his little backwards crab dribble, but that's not how you don't want to take 9 seconds to initiate your offense every time.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But it's the other guards too. It's Keldon, it's Castle, it's Trey, it's Devin. Anytime these guys are bringing the ball up and trying to initiate after a make, they're sending their, like, A+ defender on there and saying, hey, go attack his ass. And they're getting turnovers, dude. So
do y'all think that scouting report saying, hey,
for sure.
hey, their
I think
guards
now
are
it
weak?
is.
Yeah, our guards
I think
are
they've
weak,
seen
so
little
attack them.
like pieces of it, and now I think it's 100% part of the game plan. Like, hey, we're gonna have a 6-minute stretch where we're just gonna press the hell out of them, bringing the ball up, and we're gonna get a few turnovers and easy layups because of it.
Yep.
It's been every game in the last couple weeks.
Scottie Pippen Jr. did that last night to Chris Paul.
Yeah.
He picked his pocket, then drew the offensive foul on the inbounds. He was pissing Chris Paul off.
We did have a high note against the Lakers, so let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, that's exactly. So transitioning into the win against the Lakers, like I said, we were supposed to play 2 games against them, but one of them got postponed. So we had a couple extra days rest. We had a great bounce back win from that Bucks loss. A lot of guys played great for us. Like I mentioned, Stephon Castle, he played fantastic. He was in the starting lineup. He had 23 points and 4 boards, aggressive all night, getting to the basket, and took advantage of mismatches. Wemby and Devin, they both broke out of their slump, more so Devin than Wemby. Wemby just had an off game against the Bucks, only 10 points and 10 boards against the Bucks. But Devin Vassell was on a slump for a bit, and he finally broke out of it. He poured in 23 points. And then one thing that I saw, and I was texting you guys a lot, which is I thought the key to the victory there was Chris Paul and Harrison Barnes, that veteran leadership that really helped at the very end, sealed the deal. And I was texting y'all like Sean Elliott was going ballistic. And he was so excited because the game was sort of back and forth. We went down pretty big in the third quarter. Fourth quarter made a comeback and we took a lead and we never gave it back. And that was because Chris Paul and Harrison Barnes, they had, I think it was Austin Reeves who was guarding Chris Paul and whoever was guarding Harrison Barnes. They just played the two-man game. They got Austin Reeves in a switch. And they just kept on feeding it back down to Harrison Barnes down low. He would just have his way with Austin Reeves, just took his time, true vet presence, got fouled and won. That is how you win a basketball game. That's what Sean Elliott was saying. So that's what I saw there. It was just a great team win. Like I said, breaking out of slumps. You had Stephon starting, playing great, and then you had great vet leadership there. So that was awesome to see.
Yeah, we had Wemby, Devin, and Castle each go for 23 points that game. So the three of them combined for 69 points. Nice. But I mean, if we can get that kind of output from, our young core that I think those are the three pieces that we probably most people want to keep long term. That's how we're going to win games. But yeah, you love to see what Harrison Barnes is doing. How many times is it going to take for Harrison Barnes and Chris Paul to show us how to win before the guys actually start doing those things?
Right.
So I don't know. I mean, it was a great win. I think Stuart, you said like you kind of tuned out for a minute and you came back and it was like, oh, we won by 20. Like how the hell? Because the third quarter things did not look good. So it's cool. Like we do have that resilience bone in our body somewhere.
Yep.
It's just bringing it out more than once a week.
Yeah, I did too now. I thought it was one of those games when Max Christie and Roy Hachimura just hitting back-to-back threes over and over. And I'm like, oh, I can't take this anymore. With someone like that doing it to me, I can't do it. I'd much rather just AD and LeBron each be going for 40 and 10 and that I can live with. But when it's Christie and Hachimura, guys who they will probably trade in the future, just like get out of here. So that kind of stuff pisses me off. But yeah, it was very pleasant surprise waking up to a 20-point win in the morning.
That's the best.
And I feel like we're a team that usually relies on our bench scoring. And that was a really weird game where most of our points came from our starters. Like our bench gave us nothing that game. Keldon had 10, and that was basically it off the bench. And yeah, like we talked last week about the Chicago and Denver games where fourth quarter offense just went completely flat, scored like 15 and 16 points. And then we just exploded in that Lakers game for 37, I think it was. That was really cool to see. Finally, fourth quarter offense putting on a big show.
Yeah, heck yeah. The one thing I noticed there too is I keep on hyperfixating on it because I want to see Wemby dominate how he's dominated against, say, like we talked about, Giannis last year, Jokic. Those are epic battles. I want him to dominate against AD, and so I hyperfixate on it. And every time I watch AD up against Wemby, I see AD kill Wemby, dude. Like, I don't know how he gets to these shots so effortlessly over his arms. He'll just get a little bump hook every time. He's got these angles off the glass. He's so crafty.
As I don't want to say it, yeah.
Exactly. I am the last person. I do not really like AD at all, but I have to give it to him that like he's
got Wemby's number.
He's got Wemby's number.
Yeah. Yeah, he's the one guy that Wemby can't get past. And I think especially Alec, if you're looking for why we don't like AD, because I'm in the same boat, it's because everybody wants to compare him to Tim Duncan, and they always have. And it's like y'all need to sit your ass down.
That's it.
AD is not the back-to-back MVP, 5-time champion, 3-time Finals MVP. Most all defensive teams in NBA history, and all the freaking accolades. Calm down. He's good. He's not Tim Duncan. And it's been that for year after year after year. Every playoff game, he has a good game. It's like, oh, he's better than Tim Duncan. It's like, shut up. Shut up. No, he's not.
Yeah, he's got a Mickey Mouse ring.
Comes from.
Yeah, wait till next game. He'll break his ankle in the first play of the game every year. So
walking down the court.
Yeah, calm down.
Right. It's always the TNT guys who are the ones who actually call him out for not stepping up in playoff games and stuff. Yeah. But yeah, the Tim Duncan stuff used to piss me off. I feel like I haven't heard it as much recently because he hasn't won anything. But no, he puts up every night are crazy.
The fact
he hasn't won anything.
Has he ever won MVP?
No.
I think so. Okay, yeah.
And he's not going to win DPOI anytime
He's not
if
Not
going to win.
now.
Wemby's
He's not
healthy.
going to win
Yeah.
MVP ever now. It would have happened if he was ever
Right.
gonna. So
If he
he
was gonna
won't
win
now.
D, yeah, if he was gonna win DPOY, it had to have been last year,
Right.
and he let Gobert win it, and I mean
Yeah.
Wemby was still second, so yeah, like it's already that ship has sailed for him.
Yeah. So either way, though, I'm like, gosh, he still put up 30 and 13 against Wemby. I'm like, come on, man. One time I need to see you just like absolutely dominate him. Yeah, man. So like I said, that was a great win. It was a great comeback win. We lost 3 games in a row prior to that. So we remember we had going back,
Yeah,
we had lost against the Nuggets, the Bulls, and then the Bucks. That Bulls game is really kind of biting us in the butt right now. But yeah, like I said, good that we stopped that 3 game losing skid. By the way, I'll have to interject here. Like I said, what was really cool to see after that game, Chris Paul, he said, "Hey, win or lose, we're gonna go over and we're gonna go talk to JJ Redick's sons." For those who don't know, Spurs Bros, that JJ Redick was someone who lost his home in the LA fires that have been sort of devastating the whole LA area, and so that was really cool to see Chris Paul and Wemby go over to his sons and kind of sign his jersey
yeah,
and
because
whatnot. That was
apparently
fun.
his sons like had a big time jersey collection that, along with the house, all got wiped away. So they're like, all right, well let's go over there and help them start their collection back up.
Yeah.
And I think if you're starting a collection, you get Chris Paul and Victor Wembanyama on the Spurs. Like that's pretty sick on the City Edition jerseys too. So
That's
yeah, that
fun.
was a pretty cool thing.
That was cool. And then my dark side came out, and I was thinking, dude, we're so lucky. I hate to say lucky, but like if those fires weren't happening, do we still win that game? Like, are their mentals not there? Is that the reason why came back so bad and won by 24 after being down 18? Like, do we just get lucky? And should we be on a 5 game losing streak right now? Doesn't
LeBron
matter.
didn't
I'm
seem
glad
all
we
there.
I'm not gonna touch that one.
yeah, yeah. Gotta let my, intrusive thoughts sort of get to me there. But yeah, I thought about it for half a second. I was like, oh man, well, I'm glad we took care of business despite, seriously, that was absolutely devastating fires that are happening over there. So cool for the boys, CP3 and Wemby there. After that, we come back home and we lose to the Memphis Grizzlies, 129 to 115. Just a tough loss, man. Just a tough loss. Initial reactions there.
I was so frustrated
Yeah.
as the fourth quarter went on. And like I think the lead started dwindling late in the third and just carried over into the fourth. And it was another situation where it's like, when the hell are we gonna wake up in this game? When is the execution gonna come back? Like, when are we gonna fix any of this? Are we gonna run a play correctly? Are we gonna bring the ball down the court? Is Scottie Pippen Jr. really gonna like get in the way of our entire night? Like Tim said, like it was just so hard to watch, and seeing Devin Vassell miss 2 free throws and then get blown by getting back by Desmond Bane,
Yep.
giving up a layup, and then 2 possessions later, the same thing, like not the free throws, but the same thing. Desmond Bane drives full court, gets a layup, and then a third time, Desmond Bane full court layup. Like, guys,
Yep.
Sean said it on there, like nobody's ready to play. Nobody's locked in. Energy was low. Like it was just like they accepted it. Like, okay, but it's because like these habits have built up. And those are the moments where it's like, okay, as much as we love Keldon Johnson and sometimes Devin Vassell and the guys who have been through the muck of the last few years, and as much as we want them to turn that corner and be part of this core, are they just like ingrained into this? Yeah, like we're gonna lose?
Maybe.
Are they too far down in that rut? I don't
Mm.
know. They've had so much losing, and it's like I don't know, if you lose that much over the span of multiple seasons, is your expectation really going to be to actually go out there and win? You can talk about it as much as you want, but then when it repeatedly, Lakers game was different. But then, like you said, to start the pod, 1 step forward against the Lakers, 2 steps back, the Bucks and the Grizzlies. Like a lot of similar shades there. Just sucks to watch us not snap out of it and not grow and not realize the opportunity that we have. I was listening to another podcast talk about Jaden Daniels for the Commanders, and it was
Mhm.
talking about like, yeah, he's a rookie, but here they are. They came in, they made the playoffs, they won a playoff game, and they were like, when you have a Jaden Daniels, and I'm gonna say Wembanyama is our Daniels on steroids. When you have a Jaden Daniels, everybody else in that locker room thinks that they can win, and they play just a little bit better and with a little bit more confidence and a little bit better execution because you have Jaden Daniels on your team leading the way. Like, where's that mindset from the rest of our guys? And if they can't adopt that, then we've got to have the overhauls that we've been debating for the last month and get some new people in here. I don't know.
Wait a second. That's really interesting because I bet you a star player, like we could probably get into it in a second, but like Devin Booker's name came up in a potential trade talk. I bet you Devin Booker would be licking his chops and be like, "Oh heck yeah, we can
Hell
win
yeah,
together."
dude.
Like
Devin Booker would be the equivalent of Bobby Wagner going to the Commanders. Like, you get Jaden Daniels, this young budding superstar, but you add to the defense Bobby Wagner, who was with the Seattle, what's it called? The Legion of Boom or whatever, of
yeah.
Doom. Like, you have to bring in that other side of it. So if we get a Devin Booker to replace with our nothing but losses, Keldon Johnson and Trey Jones and Devin, I don't know.
Dude,
Maybe I'm onto something.
I said it last week. Nothing has changed my mind. We are losers. Our team is built with a bunch of losers, and that is just a fact. I'm sorry. Wemby's been a winner in life, but again, we said it. CP's never even won. CP's never won shit.
That's been right here for like the last month.
Harrison is a champion. Give him that. Harrison's a champion. Other than that, we are built with losers. None of our guys on our team won like national champions. None of them are national champions.
Just Stephon Castle. That's it.
Okay.
That's why I love him.
And who are we talking the most about?
That's who we love.
Who's a rookie coming out putting up 23 a game? Come on. It's nothing changed on my mind.
Dude,
Tim, you go ahead.
Tim, go ahead, losers. And then we'll get it. Yeah, this is great. I love this.
No, I was just gonna say I did bring up Devin Booker's name last week. I think before this news kind of came out. I don't think it's big news yet, but like Phoenix and their stupid ass new owner who have given up all their future draft picks, and they're still not going anywhere. So eventually they're probably just going to have to blow it up. So I think it's, very real possibility that Devin Booker could get traded. I mean, in the next couple of years.
Not this season.
Tim, I was looking last night. Dude, you say it's not that big of news, but actually there's odds on Devin Booker trade destinations. Yeah, we're second at plus 250. Yeah, it was Houston minus 200, us plus 250. I was like, where the hell does that come from? But if that's actually a story, then sign me the hell up, dude. Just don't double team Devin Booker and we'll be fine.
I'll stick with that, though. I've said we're going to be in every trade rumor because we have all the assets and stuff. And Houston is by far the leader right now to get him because they have all their future picks, all Phoenix's future picks. But I personally think they'll get rid of Beal and KD before they get rid of Booker. So I don't think there's much to come from it because honestly, Houston would trade for what's KD 35, 36.
KD.
They would trade all that shit away for KD as well. So I think that won't happen, but it'd be sick.
Booker's kind of the franchise cornerstone, I guess. He was the one that turned them around. So that's probably fair, but I wish it was more of a story.
Yeah, but either way, staying on this topic, I love this. Like, I will talk about this. This is like my theory of everything is like, who's a winner, who's not. And it's mostly, I don't know, I'm like more on the intangible, like feeling it out. I mean, you can see it via stats of like who's won literally and who hasn't. But using that mixed analogy with football and basketball, the GOAT, Tom Brady. I remember hearing from someone who's like a performance coach. He basically said that when he spoke to Brady, he said that how he always knows how to win, especially when it matters most, is because it's subconscious now. He's done the thing so many times that he subconsciously finds a way to find the open man, right? He's going through his progressions, and he somehow finds a way to find the open man. And with losing quarterbacks, it's always how to find the guy who's not open, or you're always trying to thread the needle and the guy's not there. It's a subconscious
Dak Prescott.
thing. Well, you're right, exactly. Yeah, don't get me started there.
Don't get us started.
Don't get us started there. That dude, but yes.
Start a Dak Bros pod. I don't know what thoughts on that one.
Yeah, exactly. But now bringing this back to basketball, what if, to your point, Reagan, that we've seen so many L's that we know nothing else other than subconsciously now. It's just baked in to
It's
just
just ingrained. Yeah.
find ways to lose or we're going to try to not lose instead of like finding a way to win. That's what
Yeah, so
champions do.
how do we identify the guys that aren't there? Like we all think it's Wemby and Castle. And
Yeah,
aside from that, who are those people? Like has
right.
Sohan been here not long enough to have that ingrained yet? His first 2 seasons, he won 22 games each year and he's seen progress now. Like is he played for a really good Baylor team. Is
Right.
he going to be able to stay around because he knows what winning looks like? Is Devin Vassell not? Is Keldon Johnson and Trey Jones not? Because all they've seen is, horrible, horrible loss after losing season after losing season. I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. But
Do
again,
y'all think we look legitimately? You can tell when we win, and like Wemby is ecstatic on usually all of our wins. He has a big smile. This other. Can you tell? Like, do the guys you think look legitimately sad and dreadful when we lose games? Like, man, we got to
No,
get back
dude.
to it.
We
I don't
we
think so.
talked
I
about
see
this two
them
weeks
laughing
ago.
off the court.
Vassell getting Edwards' jersey.
Mhm.
Anthony Edwards, like
Straight up after the
right
game,
after.
ran
Buzzer,
and
give me your
yeah,
jersey, bro. Let's take a pic.
yeah.
No, I don't think they've got that killer in them. I
I
think
agree.
Keldon might sometimes, but I don't think Devin has that killer actually in him.
And
Yeah,
you don't want people like that in the locker room, the
no.
loser mentality to be
because
leading your team.
yes,
I
and also
agree.
go ahead.
Sorry, I was just gonna say I agree. We haven't seen it yet, but I was just gonna point out how I think OKC still has multiple guys from before they started getting good when they were losers for
That's true.
2, 3 seasons in a row. So, I mean, I think it can flip. I think it can change, but yeah, we haven't really seen it yet. I mean, we've had some good crunch time home wins, not last night, not against Denver last week, but we haven't seen it on the road. And yeah, the road wins, as Pop says, are the sweetest wins.
That's right. Yeah.
Got to be
So
able to win on the road if you're going to be a real playoff team.
right.
No one will be able to convince me otherwise that we wouldn't have at least 4 to 5 or more wins if we still had Pop coaching this whole season.
Huh.
With all the close losses we've taken
Yeah.
this year, and just losses that shouldn't have happened when we're up by 20 in the third end at Blue, just no one can convince me otherwise. Mitch is botching the last 5 minutes of every game. Like
Mhm.
no one can convince me otherwise.
Yeah, the wrong subs at on Christmas Day and
Yep.
against the Bulls
The
and all that.
Bulls.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. Philly.
You're probably right.
Yep. Just
I
yeah.
mean, even if
No
you
one
just look
can.
at that one Bulls game, like this is again, the Western Conference is so stacked. If we win the Bulls game, which every person was like distraught, like, are we a real NBA team because we lost to the Bulls the way that we lost to the Bulls? And we're then 20 and 19 instead of sitting in 12th in the West, 2019 would put us in ninth.
Mhm.
Like that, a one game swing jumps us 4 spots. It's
Dang.
crazy how close it is right now. We can't lax up, and
Yep.
the schedule's too tough. We said it
Yeah.
2 weeks ago. January's too tough to be losing to the damn Bulls.
Yep.
And speaking of 2 weeks, we're 2 weeks away from trade deadline.
Hmm.
What it's all going to come
Three
down to that
weeks,
day,
February 6th,
6th. So 3 weeks from today.
Thursday.
So
Yeah,
a lot will come down to the rest of our season. What
yeah.
happens between now and then? Because again, none of us are believers. I know Alec might be a little bit, but none of us are really believers of this team is doing anything
You
this
know,
year
Tim
special.
Tim said that Keldon's been playing really well. The first thought that came into my mind when you said that was he's playing like somebody who doesn't want to get traded. But that might have the inverse effect. I think if he keeps playing this well, the prophecy might be fulfilled that he gets paired with Zach Collins for like a
There
center
you
upgrade
go.
or something, or
Hey
a
man,
power forward or
in my
somebody. I don't know.
opinion, Keldon has played his way to stay. I'd rather trade Jeremy
Yeah,
or
I
Devin
think so
right now over
too.
Keldon.
You
I
rather
think
trade Jeremy?
I'd rather trade Jeremy and
Okay, all
or
right.
Devin
Thank you for
over
saying
Keldon.
that. All right, all right. So here's my
It's,
two things that I had marked down for Jeremy. So people want to talk about how Jeremy doesn't impact the game and how he can't actually defend, and people think he's supposed to be this defensive stopper and he's not. So here's against 5 all-star players this year. Here's how he has performed, and here's how those guys have shot against him. When Jeremy Sohan has guarded Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, SGA has shot 2 of 11 from the field. That's 18%. When he's guarded Julius Randle, Randall has shot 3 of 11. That's 27%. Luka has gone 5 of 15. Jalen Brunson, 2 of only 6 shots even attempted while he's been guarded. And Anthony Edwards, 8 of 22, 36%. Those are 5 elite NBA All-Star level players that play different positions. Sohan's guarded all of them and held them all to at least 36% or less field goal percentage. So that's number one. I think we're missing the defense that he brings. Number two, top 5 pick and rollers in the league. Number one is Karl Anthony Towns, whatever. But him and Jokic are tied at 1.28 points per possession when they're the roller in a pick and roll set. But who else is also tied at first in the league? Jeremy Sohan, 1.28 points per possession, and a lot of those pick and rolls are coming with Wemby and with Chris Paul, I think. But I think we're missing that presence, his defensive versatility, physicality, that edge, that killer, like I'm gonna get in your grill, I don't care who's in my way kind of stuff. That's what we've been missing. So I think it's a lot of the intangibles he brings. Still want to trade him?
Love those stats. Love them. Amazing. The biggest stat I care about. Will you tell me what our record was in all those games when he was defending those guys? Because I know you said Knicks. That's 0-1. We've lost to Timberwolves, I think, 2 out of 3. No? So probably that's 0-2. Shea, I know we got killed.
We won that game, right?
We only played them once?
We played them twice.
I think we got killed, and then we beat them in the cup game. Yeah. So
we split with them.
My thing is, because I told y'all that stat last week, we were 9-13 with Jeremy so far in the season. So my thing is, are we winning games? I don't give a shit what he's doing, because guess what? If he's locking down, on one end, does it matter if we're playing 4-on-5 on offense on the other end?
Okay, so here's the thing. I think this is a tie in a couple of different points. Reagan, you said, is Sohan, is he too far gone on this whole, right, doesn't know how to win thing? Yeah, I think not. I think he's still, right, I think not. I think he's still young, and he's got what you said, which contributes to winning. And, Stu, to your point of we're playing 4-on-5 basketball, what was our lineup in 2014? Like Thiago, for example, like he wasn't like a big like scoring guy. Like you had to score, but
Thiago was a great part of our team.
Yeah, he was, but so was Sohan. Sohan is
all Thiago did was sit in the dunker spot and like flash the little jump hook paint and a little jump hook.
That's it.
He was a hell of a passer.
I can't.
I mean,
I can't believe, Stu, you loved Thiago, but you hated Jakob Poeltl. Like,
yeah, make that make sense. That's right. That's right, Tim. Call him out, bro. Call him out. That's right.
Jakob had no finishing game around the rim.
That's true.
Oh, man.
Thiago was crafty as shit around the rim.
What I'm trying to say, though, is like his offensive game was super limited, but it worked like crazy because we had 4 other guys who could go. You had Kawhi, Tony, and you had Danny Green, who was a sniper, and so it was fine. Yeah. So we just don't have the guys right now to make
I think the roster needs to be upgraded to completely agree. Yeah.
So we're all in agreement about this trade deadline in 3 weeks. We're on agreement we do need moves, but we're all indifferent on who we should trade.
I think our wish list for what we need to bring in is different, and I think who we're all good sending away is different too. So
okay, so right now you have to give away one of the 3: Devin, Jeremy, Keldon. Who? One has to go. Who are you giving?
I'd say Keldon, but
I'd say Keldon.
I don't think we can get as much back in return for Keldon.
Yeah, no, okay, so I'm with you, Alec, but I also agree with we're not going to get as much back, so Devin has to go. I think Devin has to go.
Okay, yeah, so let's put it down to Devin or Jeremy then. Yeah, so Devin or Jeremy, you'd pick to send Devin?
Devin, yeah.
I agree. Devin's my number 1, Jeremy 2, Keldon 3.
Okay,
Devin's, and I think we can get most back for Devin.
So if we pair Devin with Zach Collins,
well, I think we're better off. I think we're better.
Filler.
Yeah, I think we're better off pairing him with a 2nd-round pick over Zach Collins.
Yeah, that's true. So that'll be 2. Hopefully, those will be 2 separate trades if we make 2 trades.
I think Devin and Trey Jones together with like a first could get us someone real. Trey Jones is a coveted backup to some teams. I feel.
That's true.
I don't want him on our team, but I think he's liked around the league.
I
That
just think
Tim
it's
likes
I
him.
think that PG spot is too backed up for him to have a legitimate future with us now.
Yeah, we just drafted too
So
many guards in the past years.
yeah,
It's nothing to do with him, but just there's
yeah.
other teams he'd play better for.
Yeah.
Tim and Alec, who are y'all between Jeremy or Devin?
I think that's probably right. I think both of y'all's logic is perfect. I think Devin, because we can get the most back for him. He's flashy, like he's got that scoring. He can get to a lot of different spots and score. He's averages what, like close to 20 points a game, has been for the past couple of years, 6'7". Like he's got all the looks of
Yeah.
a really good trade piece.
I don't know. I mean, it all depends on what we would get back in the trade, but you know, I still like Jeremy a lot. I know he doesn't bring a lot scoring wise. Stu, you sent us that tweet about Spurs player grades so far this season, and the guy gave Jeremy an A minus. I don't know if I'd give him an A minus, maybe a B, B plus, but like he was our best player for the first 7 or 8 games before he fractured his thumb, and then missed some time, came back, and everyone like flip-flopped on him, and I was like, what the hell
Ooh.
happened? I don't know. I still think he's very important to this team, and
Love that.
yeah.
Yeah,
This
and
this
y'all know me, Jer.
podcast was sold on Jeremy Sohan for
Yeah,
most improved
yeah. We
player.
were talking MIP this year, and
Yeah.
y'all know me. He's my type of player too. But if he's not gonna have that mentality, we need to see that he has the killer. I'm a winner. Like I'm gonna do whatever it takes. But I mean, yeah, we've all been sold on Jeremy, but he just has to be more consistent and
Yeah.
stay healthy. Quite
Yeah.
frankly.
That's fair. Yeah, I mean, we can. I mean, speaking of that, we can get into the grading, the midseason grades. At Era Spurs posted this, so I guess I don't know if they're well followed or not on X, but that's a good little tidbit to start up at least a conversation. So 2024, 2025 midseason San Antonio Spurs player grades. Victor Wembanyama gets an A. I agree. Chris Paul gets an A as well. Do you agree with that? Chris Paul as an A.
A minus.
B minus.
A minus,
minus.
B plus for
minus.
me.
We weren't expecting him to be like a big scorer or anything. You know, he's doing what we thought he would do. So yeah, A minus. So.
I say A minus as well. Harrison Barnes is an A.
That's a little
Har-
high.
I think
No,
he's
no,
exceeded
no. I was gonna
expectations.
say Harrison should be an A plus, if anything.
Really? Sheesh.
I
Player
think
of the week.
he just had he had a few game stretches where he did
Yeah.
go quiet, but he did
Been up and
he's
down.
still showing up every game. He's been a pro. He's been the vet presence. He's he's helped us string together wins when we need
I
him.
always feel comfortable like down the stretch if he's on the floor. I have no,
Right.
I like if he comes in for Jeremy or for Keldon, I do not mind it
Like
at all.
he has to be in the closing lineup. Yeah.
Yes, I think he's A plus, honestly.
Okay. Jeremy Sohan, we gave him an A minus, and Tim, you gave us your thought there. Yeah. Julian Champagny gets a B. I think
B
that's
plus.
B. Yeah.
I think B plus. Yeah, I think
I think he's
there's-
overperformed a little bit.
Because
Yeah.
I think he has had a few games where it's been like, oh my God, did we find like the next great Danny Green, Bruce Bowen type shooter? The shooting skills off the catch, like fadeaways, off balance, off dribble that he's been able to make. It's looked pretty cool. So if he strings together more of that, yeah, I'd say B plus easy.
And to that point, I think a lot of it is we're paying him $3 million a year. If he was making 20 a year and he's playing this way, we'd be like, oh, D or some shit. But as $3 million a year,
Yeah.
B plus, A minus for sure.
And people are gonna say, "Oh, he's faded in these big games," but like you said, Stuart, he's making $3 million a year.
Yeah,
So
he's
I
not.
think
Yeah.
I think in those big games, like he kind of shows why he's making $3 million a year, and he's never been in a spot that it means anything in the NBA. So over the course of the season, though, yeah, I think he's overperformed.
Quick, how old is Julian? Is he young? Or is he
Yeah.
like 26, 27?
24.
Oh, okay. So I could very much see him on a long cause of Spurs set in his role in the second squad for our winning years. I would not mind that at all.
He's 23. He won't be 24 till June, actually.
Yeah.
Just looked it
Boom.
up.
That's awesome. Yeah.
With how good he is now, yeah, I would love to keep him unless he gets a fat contract at some point. But
Yeah, I'm not gonna go pay him 15 mil, but
He
nice
might
little
demand it.
year.
Yeah. Devin Vassell, C plus.
Best ability is availability. And
Yeah,
if he
sure.
can't be available for more than half the games and he's going to have the up and downs in those limited stretches, then yeah.
I think
Yeah,
I
that's
might give him
because like against the Lakers, yeah, it looks like a freaking A. But then when he's not available, yeah, that's nothing for us. And then when he scores 10 a game and he shoots 12, 15 shots, it's like that's not going to work. So
right. Yeah, that I think that's just right for those reasons, right? I think it's
yeah,
it's
I'm,
the, it's
I'm
the
perfectly
average
good.
of yeah.
C plus.
Tim, do you agree with that or anything?
No, that's fine. I'd go
Yeah.
just a little bump higher, maybe B minus.
Yeah, B minus. Okay.
But the next one is ridiculous.
Dude, the next one is
This is
ridiculous.
crazy.
Stephon Castle is a C
Yeah,
plus.
I
Heck
don't know
no.
what the hell that
I
that
What
one
is
think,
like?
pissed me off.
Are they grading on the Magic Johnson curve? Like, what are we
dude,
looking at, bro?
seriously, yeah, the Magic
Crazy.
Johnson. Yeah, dude, I think he gets an A in my eyes just because he's a rookie. Like, you can't dock him so hard. First off, just that in and of itself. Then you come in and actually make a real impact on the squad, like any real tangible impact. That's already a B plus, and then you get a career high from him last night against the Memphis Grizzlies, stuff like that, and then a 23-point game against the Lakers as well. It's
Yeah,
I mean,
stuff
he's
like
kind of
that.
been
He's
a
an A.
highlight machine recently too. Like he had the windmill last week. He had a couple putbacks last night. He's been dunking on people like two hands, one hand. Like, yeah, he's been a stud.
Yeah,
Yes.
when I saw Stephon, that I brain went straight to casual. This person doesn't know shit. If
Yeah.
they're saying that went lost all credibility right there because that's absolutely absurd.
I
Totally.
wonder if they're like thinking about when he got moved to the bench and it's like, oh, well, he got benched and then he didn't play good even off the bench. It's like we've covered that ad nauseum. We don't have to go into it again. But like, no, he's been a stud and a key piece and
Yeah,
proven that he's going to be around a long time in this league. He could be the rookie of the year. He's got A plus for me. Like, I'm all about this kid.
The only thing I can see is like to steal me on the argument is people being like, well, he's, statistically one of the worst shooters, right now from perimeter in the league. But yeah, exactly. I don't care. I don't care.
Yeah,
He's,
it'll get better. It'll get
yeah,
better. It'll get better. Like, what are his shooting splits right now? We're halfway through the year.
I don't know. Look that up while I say Trey Jones is a C plus.
That's
maybe
low.
D.
I think that's low too. Yeah.
He's missed time. This year he's just not really looking for his shot, but I think he still impacts the game. He finds guys, he makes the right reads, he doesn't turn the ball over. I think he's still a good part for, just inclusivity and, moving the ball and leading to easy buckets and stuff. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I agree with you, Tim. I'd say at least a B. Yeah.
Castle's shooting 40% from the field, 25% from three, and
Okay.
71% from the free throw line.
All right. Yeah, 25% is obviously the glaring number from three, but
Yeah.
like
we
knew.
shooting was never a strength coming in. Yeah,
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
we knew that was going to be a work in progress.
He's shifty.
I was
mean,
curious. I just looked it up really quick. I was curious what Trey Jones's plus minus would be. Yeah, he's third on the Spurs in plus minus. Wemby's first, Chris Paul second, Trey Jones third.
Boom.
that makes sense.
Boom. Yeah, at least a B.
perfect trade piece.
There you go. Or does I want to keep around, keep betting on.
Nah.
Let's see. Keldon Johnson as a C.
B
That's
for
low.
me.
That's low. Yeah.
Yeah,
I completely agree. I think he really I think we all went into this podcast and AKA into the season, or this is the first year we're recording this podcast. We were all like, all right, it's make or break time for Keldon, and we think he'll get moved. Don't even really want him. But then he came back with his body, and he's just consistently shown himself and proven himself time and time again. Wherever he's been needed, he's kind of been ready off the bench.
He's had a few nasty dunks that I haven't seen since like his first year or two in the league, and I think that's the shape that he's gotten himself in. So like he put in the work, it's showing, and I think you said make or break. So far, he has made it. I think he's here for a while.
Yeah, even if his numbers are lower this year because he doesn't have to put up as many shots or whatever, I'd consider this his best year of his career so far, I think.
And I've seen some real leadership from him too at times. Like a couple of games we've won. I think it was last week. He kind of like Devin and Wemby had a stretch where they combined for like 10 straight, and the other team called a timeout. And I watched Keldon run over to him, and he grabbed them both by the jersey. He said, "You and you, it's on you guys. Like you two have to close this out. It's on y'all." And then
love that
those two continued to kill down the stretch of that game. I wish I could remember the game, but we ended up winning, and it was like that was a real leadership moment from Keldon. So if you
Dude.
can develop that and turn into an actual leader, I'm here for it.
Yeah, so I say at least a B. Last two, I think Charles Bassey is too low again. I think D plus is a little too low for Bassey. I
Bump
mean,
him
we
up,
didn't
man.
have
He's passing. Give him a C.
Yeah, I give him a
yeah,
C.
exactly. And then the last one was way too high. Zach Collins
F
at
minus.
a D. They have Zach Collins at a D, and so
Shouldn't
yeah,
have even put him on the list.
on play. We rag on Zach so hard, man.
Dude, for deserved,
There
what
hasn't
do
been
you?
a bright spot really.
He's
Yeah.
not a $17 and a
His
half million dollar
contract.
player.
If he wasn't making so much.
Yeah, if he was
Yeah.
making what Champagne was making, none of us would give a shit about
Yeah.
what he does
Right.
on the court. It's the
It's
fact that
the-
we're paying him as much as we do, bro.
It's
I
the
know.
exact flip of what you said a second ago, Stuart, about Champagne. If Champagne was making 15, 20 million, we'd be like, like he's not playing well at all. But
Yeah,
yeah, if
but he's
you make
making
him
three, and we're like, he's amazing.
he's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Relative. Yeah. Good
But
point.
Zach isn't even worth three for the record. Keep going.
He should be in Europe making Swiss franc or something. Yeah. Yeah, man. Okay, that's the whole list. So
Yeah.
that was a cool little segment. I'm glad we touched on that. I wanted to transition into something. I thought about this while I was on a walk, actually, and I
Ooh,
thought this was interesting. We can maybe close with this unless I'll have anything else. But
I got one thing, but yeah.
okay. So, we've been talking about like the new CBA rules and contracts and max players and my overemphasis on winners and how there are guys in the league who they're going to deserve and demand max contracts and teams will pay it and they have to pay it, but they're really low key not worth it, just like AKA Jimmy Butler because because they haven't won anything, right? They don't win. Like they're not real winners. Like there are guys.
Tyrese Halliburton,
Tyrese Halliburton.
Pascal Siakam, both on the Pacers.
I'm thinking about even going back though. Think about to me it was Russ. To me it was James Harden. It was all these guys who played in DeMar DeRozan, another
Embiid.
one. It's all these guys. You'd have the names in mind who are really great. They're going to deserve max contracts because they're really great. But do they have that thing, that it thing? And only a certain few players do. And so I was thinking, what if there was a rule that prevented having like super max contracts for players and they're only reserved it for winners, only for champions? And then everybody else, they couldn't make as much, but it low key would kind of benefit teams who haven't won yet, right? So now you could only technically sign, for whatever, 35 mil a year instead of 50 mil a year, whatever. But, think about Steph Curry, obviously deserves it. Even LeBron, he's going to demand that. Sure. Like you've got guys.
I love it. Like my initial response is I love it because yes, you have to go earn that as a winner, and it takes that decision making out of the journalists that vote on All NBA. So if we attach it to championship or even like making a finals, like you win your conference, whatever. So it would be great. But then like the little voice in the back of my head, everybody talks about like it takes luck to win a championship.
Sure.
And you have to have like injury help and this has to go your way and that has to, go against the other team. And so that's hard for guys to not get the money, but
don't care.
But
Find a way to win,
money, so
right? That's the point. That's the point.
Yeah.
Is like, oh me, yeah. Like if only we had this player that was available. Nah, man. Like Luka and all that and Kyrie, they made it happen like last year, and they turn it around. Like they just
if you make the finals, like if you're a conference champion,
yeah.
You cool with that, like, or you want the ring?
I kind of want the ring. I
ring?
like that
Okay.
idea. That's because I like I said, I over-index on like the winning thing so
But
much.
I feel like that stuff is built into today's contracts. No, like that's how who y'all said Halliburton was able to get a max because he like got selected for. He wasn't going to be able to get a max if he didn't get All NBA, and he got selected. So like that stuff, like Wemby won't be available to get a super duper max or whatever if. Like I'm sure that's in his contract. If you're All NBA, if you're MVP, whatever, DPOY by this year, like that stuff is built into today's contracts.
Yeah,
but I think that's accolades
like
rather than
unlocks.
winning.
Right.
That's what Alex's point is.
Okay, so your point is just winning. Like if you,
Yes.
well, I'm sure everyone gets a bonus if you win a championship.
No, but I'm
Facts.
talking like you should only be getting paid
You
Jimmy
can't get a
Butler
super
money.
max unless you have a championship ring.
You have a
Got it.
chance, right? Because and yeah, I don't know. I like that idea. That you reserve for the winners of the winners of the winners.
Got it.
Like, I don't know.
It's a
I
cute
mean,
hypothetical.
Yeah.
I've heard I've heard some people who have votes for all NBA teams, like on a podcast, say that they've taken that into consideration when they're
Yeah,
making NBA teams, like, oh, this guy could get a super max. I mean, I don't think that should go into the decision making at all.
I
Like,
don't
who cares
either.
if he could
But
get
yeah, what's his name?
50 or 200 million? That's, oh, I need to support my family, like bullshit. Like,
Right. Right. That's the other point.
The
That's
low
the
the
other.
low post, I'm forgetting his first name right now. Zach Lowe. Yeah, that's the one that comes to mind when you say that. He has said that before. He's like, I have we have a responsibility that if we don't vote Jaylen Brown and Tyrese Halliburton for All NBA, they're gonna miss out on $80 million over the course of the next 4 years. Like,
cares?
But
yeah.
and that's my other point as
So
well. It's
that's
like
yeah, take it out of the journalist hand.
right.
Yeah.
And so that's my point too. It's like it's a way to push back against the greediness. Like I understand like NBA guy they want every penny and I get it because it's like dude, we've been dogged. We've been like fighting our whole lives to get here and to make it. And not even just to make it, but to like get a second contract. Like I
Yep.
understand it's really hard. And so once you make it, you're going to want to fight for everything. AKA and or your agent's going to want to fight for every dollar too. But beyond that, it's a way to push back against that just like greed because it's like Tim said, okay, 50 mil or 55 mil versus like 35 mil. Like, do you really
Yeah,
need
you're
an extra
good either
20
way.
min? Like, do you really need that much? Does it really make that much of a difference? Like, do you have that many like people to support in your life? I
And so
understand.
you're
Like,
saying, how about you be a winner, go win a championship, then we'll give
go
you that
win and then you
55.
can do it. Like, yeah, Steph, check. Kyrie, check. JT, check. Jokic, check. Like all these guys who there are a lot of guys who do deserve it and they should get it and they will get it. And then there are a lot of
So in
guys
2 years, Wemby doesn't deserve a max if we haven't won a championship.
not
A
like this,
max, but not a super
not
max.
the yeah, a
I
Billy.
mean,
Because there's levels
are we
to it.
gonna be able to give him a super max?
Yeah, we will. I mean, like the
Yeah.
way the current rules
I
work.
mean,
My
he
hypothetical
has
is
to
not
make
reality.
an all
So,
NBA team to
Well,
do
this
that.
year, I assume.
Yeah, and he's got it this year. And then DPOY would probably also trigger him for that. Like either
Yeah.
one. He's gonna do
So,
both.
so Alec, you wish upon Wemby not a super max if we haven't won a championship.
he's got like
Let,
$1 billion
let Louis
from
Vuitton
Nike
take
and
care of
Louis.
him.
Yeah, dude.
Let's clip this and send it to Wemby. I want to see
No,
what
no,
he
he
thinks
can
of
have all the
it.
money he wants, dude. He will
We're gonna
make
have a shutdown.
Yeah, he will print. He's gonna print money for the rest of his life. He's gonna be okay. Like he's gonna be fine. And you know what? I'm sure he would be low key fine with it. Like, hey, if I had to make $15 million less dollars, we can afford another role player. I'm sure he'd be fine with it. So, whatever.
Well,
It's a fun topic.
speaking of Wemby, and let's go back to basketball a little bit. I had a little thing. What I've been harping on all season. Wemby played his first full quarter of the year last night in the fourth quarter.
Whoa.
Okay.
He had 38 minutes, and against the Lakers, he had 34 minutes and 33 against. So we're 1-2, not good. But I'm curious, do y'all think, is he finally harping, or he's a little more ready for that now, or is it because Jeremy's out?
I hope it's because we're prepping him for postseason play when when the rotation shrinks from 9 or 10 guys to 7 or 8.
Yeah.
So I
Because
hope that's
because
what
also
we're
he
doing.
looked gassed in the
Yeah,
game
he
last
did.
night.
He looked
so not good.
He looked
yeah.
like the first week of the year all
Yeah.
over again. Yeah.
Yes, but I just want to point that out. I was very happy he did get through the fourth quarter. But I was curious if y'all thought. Do you think because it was like a close game, and these past games we're sending freaking Bassey, and then boom, that game's over because we have to sub out Wemby from like 7 minutes to 4 minutes in the fourth quarter, and then game's over by then. But yeah, do y'all think it's injury related? Do y'all think we'll see that more going forward? In tight games, will we just call that timeout and won't be able to stretch it out for the whole quarter?
I hope we see it more and more because like I said, it's going to be those shrinked rotations when you get to the playoffs or the play-in or whatever, and he's going to have to play 38. Like you're not going to give him that 3 minutes in the fourth quarter when the season's on the line. It's like, all right, bro, go be tired for the next 4 months. Like rest up then. So if he doesn't get any reps of that now, then he won't be able to do it effectively. So yeah, part of the growing pains, I guess. It's a good point, Stuart. I didn't even
Yeah.
realize that.
I don't think he has to play the whole fourth quarter. Like if we had Jeremy, maybe we could go small just for like a minute or two. Yeah, just a minute or two rest for him and play 10 minutes fourth quarter. I mean, yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sub
Yeah,
him out.
get that TV timeout rest
Yep,
and
yep.
then get back in.
You sub him out a minute before the TV timeout, and then give him a minute after we come back. And the first dead ball he comes in, that's going to be like 10 real minutes of time. So,
Right.
yeah.
Here's the thing is I was thinking about this. Is Mitch Johnson, maybe to his fault, is he, everyone talks about experiments, so we're still like working through things and we're trying different rotations and stuff. Is he trying to mix up too many variables per game? Like
I
Stephon
mean, I
coming
said
back,
that 3 weeks ago, dude.
like
Like,
instead of just controlling, like have everything the same for
quit
5 games
tinkering.
and then just do one thing different and then see if that works for 3 games and then do one other thing different and try that for 3 games. Instead, he's like, okay, we're going to start Stephon this time. We're also going to play Wemby the whole fourth quarter. And we're also going to like,
Yeah,
is he trying too many different variables? So you don't even know like actually
yeah.
if you're attributing the right things, the right success or vice versa. Like you're saying, oh, well, that didn't work, but why didn't it work? Was it because of that or is it because of that thing?
Yeah, I
So,
think he has bad game feel, bro, and that goes back to like us saying earlier in the year when he wasn't using his like challenges when it was a shoe in, like we're gonna win the challenge using now. Like I think he just has bad game feel, honestly, and that's learning pains too. But I mean, sorry, bro, like we're tired of learning, like yeah.
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 But yeah, he's definitely still learning. But I mean, we're sick of it as fans. But I
That's
just
what
think he has
yeah.
bad game feel. We've talked about a lot messing up the lineups. All that comes down to game feel. Like when Keldon's going off, don't take him out, bro. Like Keldon's fit, he's ready to go. Don't take him out to put in Julian because Julian's statistically our best 3-point shooter on the year, but he's having a shake game. Like doesn't make sense. So
Right.
I personally get bad feel for in-game adjustments.
I know that was a tangential thought from the Wemby. Should he start?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Should he play the?
Brett
That's
Brown is right there. Brett Brown, if he's not speaking up more, like, it's time, buddy. Help us
yeah,
out.
yeah.
yeah,
The one thing that I had to kind of end us, I guess, is we've talked about a lot of things that we want to see better and change and all this stuff, but a little perspective. I think that's been maybe my theme of this season is perspective. I try to find that when we're getting all amped up.
I know
So
what you're about to say.
Spurs
say it.
Bros, compared to last season,
Yep.
Mm,
this is as of January 9th, so this is a week ago, but the Spurs have the second largest increase in wins behind the Pistons from
yeah,
last season. So for all the good and bad, we're 19 and 20. Beat the Bulls for 20 and 19, but we're 19 and 20. When we had 19 wins last year, I think Alec or Stewart or somebody shared this in our group chat. Last year we had 58 losses when we had our 19th win. We're 19 and 20. We've improved dramatically. We're taking the steps, but I know we all want to level up, but let's
yeah.
find some perspective and remember where we've been the last 2 years, winning 22 games on the freaking season. We're at 19 already, and we're halfway through January. So, a little action at the trade
That's
deadline. We
yeah.
can really make something here.
That's good, but what would you rather win 38, 39 games, but we get the 11 seed and just miss out on the play-in? So then what? What's that do? Then we just have a worse draft pick. We still don't get the playing experience, none of that.
That's
Do
the
you think
worst
that?
idea.
So
Well,
this
that's what I'm
comes.
saying.
I get it, and I think if you told me that last year, I'd be like, hell no, we got Wemby or whatever. But we already have Wemby. Like it's time to kick it into gear before we lose Jeremy too, and before Stephon starts thinking that this is a losing franchise. Like it's time to ramp up. And if we end up winning 38 games and we miss the play-in because the West is stacked and we're a game out, we improve by 16 wins year over year. That's a hell of an improvement. And then we make some moves in the offseason and like we level up again. I'd be fine with that personally. Like I want us to push for as many wins as we can and deal with the results.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If we're a playing team this year, like it's a lot more exciting than when we were a playing team those 2 years in a
Hell
row,
yeah.
2021, 21, 22, because that was like we were clinging on to DeRozan and Aldridge. Like,
Right.
where are we going? But
Yeah,
we're
DeJounte.
making
Yeah.
progress. Yeah.
Great
Yeah.
point, Tim.
Those
Great
were
point.
sad playing games. And like two, Like the play again, it's all about getting to the top 6 seed because we could squeak in at 10 and then we lose or 9 and you lose a game and you're done. So it's like, oh, we got an 83rd game. Cool. Like, no, let's push because a couple game like if you decide to tank with 15 games left, I mean, we just talked about it. You win one extra game against the Bulls, we're in ninth instead of 13th or 12th. So there's a lot at stake here still.
Yes.
We're 3 games out of fifth.
And
So,
yeah, and that's why I maintain. I still think we're going to go on a run like we did back in whatever the last time we made the play-in or playoffs or whatever.
Man, I hope
we went on
so.
that 9-game win streak or whatever. Yeah, let's go. Let's go.
Hit that trade market.
Come on.
Open up our wallets. Let's go,
yeah,
boys.
for real. Yep. Open up the coffers and send Zach packing.
Oh man, we will see. Time will tell in the next couple of weeks, man. Next couple episodes, we'll see. We'll be talking about it.
Who do we got this week? Grizzlies. Who else?
We got the Grizzlies. Give me half a second. If anyone has it before me, it's Grizzlies Heat
Miami.
on Sunday,
Thursday?
and then Thursday, yeah, against the Pacers. Huh. Oh, that's because they're going to Paris.
Oh,
yeah.
games next week.
That's why. Yeah, you got to give them time to adjust. Get on
That's
that.
2 games.
2 games in
We
Paris.
got the Grizzlies again, and we've got the Jimmy Butler-less Heat because he's still suspended and yelling at Pat Riley.
Right.
Ooh.
So here, I'm going to be Mr. Optimist again. And if I'm looking ahead and I say, we're going to beat the Grizzlies tomorrow, we play them at home. You saw even Devin Vassell was like, man, I can't wait to get back at them. We don't like each other. It's just kind of like us in Houston. Like it's like, or like Houston and the Grizzlies. Like we don't like them.
I was surprised Devin talking like that for the record, but I liked it.
Yeah, so I wish we would have talked about that earlier, but yeah, so I think we win that game. I think it's going to be a dogfight. I think we win that game. Heat, we take advantage of the Butler-less Heat, and we win that game. And I think Wemby plays gold medal basketball like he did because he's going to be playing in Paris. He's going to be playing in France, I think. Back in
not till Indiana.
Yeah, that game's not till
that next Thursday.
That game is next Thursday, a week from today.
Okay, so we can't. We won't.
We have 2 games. That's it.
Yeah,
2
Paris
games.
is just
Dang
both
it.
Indiana games.
Well, I'm going to look forward again. I'm just going to say it. I was speaking 2 weeks ahead. I think we win. I think we go 4 in a row. I think we win 4 in a row.
I'm going 0-2 this week. We lose tomorrow again by 15 or plus, and then we're in a close game with the Heat, and Coach Spo out coaches Mitch 0-2 on the week.
Dude, timeout. Dude, Reagan and I have been like trying to like bring us back to like optimist land, and Stu's just like, no, come down with
that
me.
could have been more different. We're gonna go 4-0 over the next week and a half. We're back, baby. 0-2. We're losers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tomorrow we're getting blown, and then Sunday will be tight. But Mitch will get out coached down the stretch, and we lose that one too.
All right.
Sorry if I blew out any Spurs bros eardrums on my laugh there, but I say we go 1-1. I think we lose to the Grizzlies again. We beat the Heat.
I'll go with Alec. Well, not the Indiana games, but 2-0. Yeah, dude, I'll be pissed if we lose to Memphis again. Wemby will step up. He was terrible last night. And then Miami, yeah, they're not playing good basketball right now, and no Jimmy Butler, like we said. So yeah, I'll say 2-0.
We'll see what happens.
And in between then, Stu and Tim, y'all got something else going on. Y'all got the ND game to watch. Good luck to your boys.
How you feeling?
We're lifelong ND boys.
Yes, sir.
This is the most confident I've been in a team in my whole lifetime, probably.
Wow.
We all kind of knew in 2013 going in Bama, it was a different feel. I am confident for Monday. Nervous, of course. Confidence, though. Confidence is key. Marcus has instilled that in us.
Dude, that's where all your optimism went.
I hope for you guys, I hope you win.
Yeah.
I never liked Ohio State, and they beat Texas. I wish we would have had a house divided, Texas versus Notre Dame. So
that would have been sick.
Kick some ass, boys.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree, Stu. The one other time we've seen them play in the championship back in 2013, like we didn't really have a chance. I think we have a good chance Monday. Oh man, I'm nervous too, but yeah, Marcus is gonna have the boys ready. I love the situation we're in. You know, nobody's really picking us to win.
Yeah.
Nothing to lose. They're gonna play free and loose. I'm excited, man.
Yeah. no matter how good we played all the playoffs, we're still every single game other than Indiana, but we're getting talked like we're not going to win. So I love it. I'm good with it.
All right.
Marcus is gonna use that as fire for sure. So
I'm just glad that y'all didn't draw Northern Illinois.
Yeah.
Right.
That was
Sorry.
That was
No, I hope you guys win. I really do. I
that was
really
the
do.
one game that Stu and I watched together this
Me
year.
too. I was there. I was there
Okay,
with
well
you.
then
Alec was there too.
don't link up. Don't link up.
yeah, for real.
Yep. Good stuff, boys. Yeah. Well, I'm glad, Stu. Like I said, I'm glad you reserved your optimism for something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. So
All
Spurs will
right,
have to
well,
wait.
we'll hope for a Notre Dame win for the sake of the pod and from the rest of the Spurs bros. Go Spurs, go.